All right, everyone. Hey, welcome back. Sorry for the delay. I had two streams scheduled. One obviously is for tomorrow's stream with Aiden Kylik from Hive, the CEO there. And my program was picking up that one. I couldn't figure out why I was picking up that one, not the new stream that I want to do right now, which is we're delayed 3 minutes. But we got a lot to talk about. Bitcoin's up today, at least finished out up in the day. Miners were down. We had Coinbase had a hack. We'll talk about that. Bitdeer reported their quarterly results. Hive bought some more miners and updated us on their hodl position. What else do we have there? We got a bunch of great, good news stories for Bitcoin, possibly miners as well, and I think that's it. But yeah, we got a lot to go through here, so let's get into it here. And again, sorry for the late live stream. Had a lot of things going on. Why isn't this not working? Come on, I want that one. There we go. That's what I wanted. But as always, not financial advice. We're doing only do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's going on in Bitcoin. We got, like I said, a lot to get through. And Bitcoin is up a little bit now in the new day as well for Friday. It's up to 104,245. Today we went down all the way to 101,400. Came back up to a high of 104,200 and closed at basically 103,286. So Bitcoin did okay today. I think Bitcoin went down maybe because of the hack that happened with Coinbase. We'll talk about that and what you can do to protect yourself there as well. But it's awesome. I think it's also awesome the way that they responded to the hack, or the hackers actually. We'll talk about that as well. Next here we got, miners were down, like I said. Bitfarms was down 1.83% on the day. Bitdeer was down 2.56. Cypher was down 4.23. Cleanspark was down 2.6. CORZ was the only one that was actually up. It was up 1.84% today. It came close again to the 100 simple day moving average. It got really close there. Maybe we'll close above it tomorrow. Hive was down 3.66. Hut 8 was down 3.41%. IREN was down 2.76. Mara 1.2% down. Riot 2.36. Wolf was down 3.83. So miners were down. MicroStrategy was down 4.73%. Galaxy was down 4.35 after it's having a tremendous run here. Coin was down 7.2% on the hack, I'm guessing. And that one, who else was up here? ALTBG was up 12%. Small miners were down for the most part, except for DMG was up 2.83 and Mawson was up 3%. Canon was down 8.7%. ETF for the miners were down 2%, almost 3%, and almost 3% as well. So that's the markets in a nutshell right now. Let's get into the things that we want to talk about here, which is not that. So this is the stream I was working on, trying to figure it out. And then here's what we got. So May, we're still up in Bitcoin to 10.54%. Bitcoin ETFs had positive inflows yesterday, which was nice, 319 million. We'll see what today brings us, whether or not BlackRock can lift everybody else up. They would have to buy more than 294 million shares, or 294 million worth of Bitcoin there in order for that to work out. And we do have some good stories here. Just in Chinese public company DDC Enterprises to adopt a strategic Bitcoin reserve, plans to buy 5,000 BTC. Cha-ching there, right? Great. We're seeing more and more of these companies buy more Bitcoin and start the strategic Bitcoin reserve there. So that's awesome there. We got also Matthew Siegel here talking about Bitcoin accelerates renewable energy, 45 billion European renewable giant ENGIE to co-locate wind power at Cypher data center, helping to alleviate congested grid transmission area. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry. Yeah, Bitcoin definitely does help with the grid, helps with getting more power in places. And so, yeah, I mean, if you don't get it, you don't get it. We're not going to waste our time trying to explain it to you. Next here, State of California pension funds just revealed buying 276 million worth of MicroStrategy. They own Bitcoin basically up through a proxy there. Great news for MicroStrategy, obviously, and for Bitcoin as well. But wish they were buying the Bitcoin ETFs, but at least they're getting it through a proxy there. Next we have Tom Lee just said Bitcoin is going to 1.5 million and surpasses gold soon. It's coming. How soon? Well, we don't know, but I'm guessing it's going to be in the, I think 1 million is going to be within the next probably 5-7 years or something like that. Maybe even sooner. Who knows? And then here, next one is Abu Dhabi, this sovereign wealth fund just disclosed buying $511 million worth of Bitcoin ETF. This is wild. Which one did they buy? They might have been buying the BlackRock ETF, right? We've seen continuous inflows into that thing like nothing else. So maybe that is what's driving it all up. Let's see. What else do we have here? Next is going to be on, what? My messages keep popping up here. MasterCard just announced to enable crypto payments with 150 million merchants. That's awesome, right? Bitcoin is next. So that's going to help Bitcoin adoption, everything else. That's all positive stuff here happening right now. And the only downside here, or maybe not even downside, but I think we got to talk about it, is Coinbase getting hacked, right? So they put out a blog post. Brian Armstrong also put out a video of basically what's going on there, how it happened. But we're going to take a look at here really quick their comments on this. So cybercriminals bribed and recruited a group of rogue overseas support agents to steal Coinbase customer data to facilitate social engineering attacks. These insiders abused their access to customer support systems to steal the account data for a small subset of customers. No passwords, private keys, or funds were exposed, and Coinbase Prime accounts are untouched. So that's great news. We will reimburse customers who were tricked into sending funds to the attacker. We're cooperating closely with law enforcement to pursue the harshest penalties possible and will not pay the $20 million ransom demand we received, which is awesome. Instead, we are establishing a $20 million reward fund for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the criminals responding for this attack. That's an awesome way to turn it around back on them. So if you guys have Coinbase, I have Coinbase. I'm not too worried about it. I have two-factor authentication, everything else, and I'm pretty tax savvy. So, but if you are not as tax savvy, maybe there's some things that can be done here, right? So security and transparency are core to Coinbase. Consistent with that commitment, we're publicly detailing an extortion attempt against us and our customers. Instead of funding criminal activity, we have investigated the incident, reinforced our controls, and will reimburse customers impacted by this accident, which is awesome, right? This is why I love Coinbase. Coinbase has been, I mean, through thick and thin, bear markets, bull markets, it's been around and it's still chugging along and it's doing great. So here's what happened. So criminals targeted our customer support agents overseas. They used cash offers to convince a small group of insiders to copy data in our customer support tools for less than 1% of Coinbase monthly transacting users. Their aim was to gather a customer list they could contact while pretending to be Coinbase, tricking people into handing over their crypto. They then tried to extort Coinbase for $20 million to cover this up. We said no, right? I think that was the right way to go. So here's what they got: name, address, phone number, and email. So be careful of any emails that you get from Coinbase. Verify that they are actually coming from Coinbase. If anything, go to the Coinbase website directly, get a phone number from them, reach out to them that way, right? Mask social security numbers, last 4 digits, mask bank account numbers, and some bank account identifiers, okay? Government ID images, so driver's license number, passports, account data, balance snapshots, and transaction history. Limited corporate data, including documents, training material, and communications available to support agents. All right, so that's kind of what they got there. So, like, again, be mindful of that if you get emails from Coinbase. What they didn't get was login credentials or two-factor authentication codes, which is good. Private keys, that's awesome. Any ability to move or access customer funds, so that's awesome. Access to Coinbase Prime accounts, that's great also. And access to Coinbase or Coinbase customers' hot or cold wallets. So you're more or less protected unless they were able to trick you into believing that they are Coinbase and then, you know, sending your coins to them, basically. That's the only way they could trick you. So no funds were really lost on it except for people's own mistakes, right? But even if you did that, Coinbase will reimburse you for the amount that you lost there, which is, you know, way and above and beyond what they could have done. So here's what they are doing: making customers whole. We will reimburse customers who were tricked into sending funds to the attacker due to social engineering attacks. If your data was accessed, you have already received an email from noreply@info.coinbase.com. All notifications went out 7:20 a.m. Eastern Time at 5:15 to affected customers. Okay, so if you get one from there, make sure that it is from that. Sometimes they can try and spoof that by, I wish I could show this to you guys as an example, but sometimes they will actually make it seem like that. But if you look at the actual email address, it might be something different. So be careful of that also. Double check on that. Extra customer safeguards. Flagged accounts now require additional ID checks on large withdrawals and include mandatory scam awareness prompts. As we monitor high risk transactions, you may experience delays. Okay, so that's fine. Further securing support operations, opening a new support hub in the United States, and adding stronger security controls and monitoring across all locations. That's good. Hardening defenses. We have increased our investment in insider threat detection, automated response, and simulating similar security threats to find failure points in any internal systems. That's great. Staying transparent, impact notices have gone out to affected users, and we'll keep the community updated as the investigation progresses. So that's awesome, right? Here's how they are responding. So $20 million reward fund. Instead of paying the $20 million ransom, we're establishing a $20 million reward fund for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the attackers. Email security at Coinbase, along with the word bounty and subject if you have information on these bad actors. So hopefully somebody does have some has some information on these guys. get them put away, and we don't need these people in society. Tracing stolen funds, working with industry partners, we've tagged the attackers' addresses so the authorities can track and work to recover assets. That's great. And working with law enforcement, insiders were fired on the spot and referred to the U.S. and international law enforcement. We will press criminal charges, right? Crime doesn't pay. It's not worth it. How you can stay safe, expect imposters, scammers related to this incident or not may pose as Coinbase employees and try to pressure you into moving your funds. Remember, Coinbase will never ask for your password, two-factor authentication codes, or for you to transfer assets to a specific or a new address, account, vault, or wallet. We will never call or text you to give you a new seed phrase or wallet address to move your funds to. If you receive this call, hang up on the phone. Coinbase will never ask you to contact an unknown number to reach us, right? Keep that in mind also. In addition, here are a set of best practices. Turn on withdrawal allow listing. Only permit transfers to wallets that are confident you fully control and where the seed phrase is secure and was not provided to you or shared with anyone. Enable strong two-factor authentication. Hardware keys are the best, right? Hopefully you guys have that if you guys are on any exchanges. Hang up on imposters. Coinbase will never ask, right? Look first, ask later if something feels off, or lock first, ask later if something feels off. Lock your account in-app and email security@coinbase.com, and then review our security tips on here. So conclusion, crypto adoption depends on trust. To the customers affected, we're sorry for the worry and inconvenience this incident caused. We'll keep owning issues when they arise and investing in the world-class defenses. Because that's how we protect our customers and keep the crypto economy safe for everyone. So that's awesome, right? And then here's reimbursement criteria. Coinbase will voluntarily reimburse retail customers who mistakenly sent funds to the scammer as a direct result of this incident prior to the date of this post, following a review to confirm the facts. And then there's forward-looking statements, obviously, here as well. But, it's unfortunate this happened, but I love the way that they are taking care of this. I think this is probably the best that I've seen a company handle it. So congrats to Coinbase, Brian Armstrong there and the team there. They have done a fantastic job doing this, right? What's what I'm looking for? Don't kowtow or, don't bend over backwards for the attackers. Make them pay, right? They're doing the right thing here. All right. So just a public service announcement here on this. Obviously, the more people know about this, the better. Spread the word. Let other people know that might have Coinbase accounts, just so they know, and make sure that they're all protected there. All right, next here, we have a story on Bitfarms. So Bitfarms loses 13% of the total mining capacity as GMSA cuts power to Argentina Bitcoin operations. This was reported in their quarterly filings. I'm not sure if it was reported on their conference call or not. I think I might have missed a couple spots. I might have been interrupted by my kids. But one of the other things that they talked about was possibly stopping the Bitcoin production updates for the monthly production updates as well. So we'll see if we can get some full details on that, if that's going to be happening here next month or not, or if they're possibly thinking about it. I'll try and get to the bottom of it here in the next couple of days or something like that. So that's unfortunate there if they do it. But I do understand why they would possibly think about doing it. And the reason for that is they don't have any more growth as far as exahash later on this year. They're putting a pause on that, and they are just going to be concentrating on getting an HPC AI deal potentially for the sites that they have in Pennsylvania there. So with that, the only way that their revenue is going to go up is if Bitcoin goes up faster than the network hash rate. That's going to be the only way it's going to obviously generate more revenue for them. Other than that, well, not other than that, but besides that, their Bitcoin production is going to continue to go down as the network hash rate continues to go up, right? So they need Bitcoin price to go up in order for them to generate more revenue with their current operations, which will generate less Bitcoin. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you guys there. But here's what we have on it. So Bitfarms has been forced to shut down its Argentina-based mining facility after its electricity supplier, Generación Mediterranean SA, something halted service. The shutdown has cut off around 13% of the company's total Bitcoin mining capacity. So at least it's not the full amount, right? That's kind of nice while you're kind of diversified here. But maybe they should have sold that site instead of selling the Paraguay site to Hive. Maybe I'm just, hindsight, right? You can always, what's it called? Side C drive or, what's the other? There's another acronym, or not acronym, but another analogy. You can also be a coach on the sidelines, right? Something like that. But according to Bitfarms Q1 2025 Management Discussion and Analysis MDA report, GMSA is undergoing a financial restructuring and has appointed advisors to manage debt-related matters. Although the supplier initially assured Bitfarms there would be no disruption, it later withdrew that comment, forcing a complete shutdown of operations at the site. So that's not good. We really don't know when that's going to be put back on or the power is going to be turned back on. So it just seems like it's one thing after another for Bitfarms. They just can't seem to catch a break. If it's, something going on with the board, CEO, leaving and then getting fired and suing them, and it's just one thing after another. They can't catch a break. So I'm hoping that this ambitious plan to get HPCI deals actually goes through for them and they get something nice going forward, because they need a little bit of a good luck here. They've definitely been beaten down, and maybe rightfully so, but we'll see. All right, so there's the story on Bitfarms here really quick. Next, let's get into Hive. Hive's got some good news here. So Hive Digital Technologies surpasses 8 exahash of Bitcoin hash rate and secures ASIC orders to 25 exahash. They didn't really provide as far as what those machines are. I'm thinking they are the machines that they had on options to buy. Those were the immersion cooled machines from Bitmain. We'll take a look at that in a second here, but here's what we have. So Hive is pleased to announce it has surpassed 8 exahash per second of global Bitcoin mining hash rate, marking another key milestone in the company's strategic expansion toward its 25 exahash target for calendar 2024 or calendar Q4. So they actually pushed that out now for calendar Q4 2025. Or is that their? Let me see here. Are they on the same kind of schedule as we are or not? I'm trying to think. Current quarter estimate Q3, so Q4 2025. That would be, let me see, that's December Q4. So I'm guessing maybe they're talking about calendar year, the regular calendar year, not their quarterly reporting year. Okay, that's kind of confusing there a little bit. So originally it was set for Q3 of 2025, if you recall. When they first came out, their growth was going to be 25 exahash by the end of Q3. Now they're pushing that out a little bit to Q4. This rapid growth is being driven by the successful energization of Hive's recently completed first 100 megawatt hydro-powered facility in Huayguazu, Paraguay. As of today, Hive reports a total of operating hash rate of 8.3 exahash, remains on track to reach its phase 1 objective of 11.5 exahash by the end of June. So that's good there, with additional capacity expected to come online in the weeks ahead. Moreover, Hive has now fully funded its ASIC order to grow to 18 exahash in Q3 2025, strategically using a Bitcoin treasury for the rapid growth. Okay. So this is where we get a little change here, right? So originally it was 25 by the end of Q3. Now we're getting 25 by the end of Q4 and 18 by the end of Q3, which is still not too bad. We're going to be off by 3 months, right? Sometimes things take a little bit longer to construct than you think. So that's not too bad. But we also know what they did with the Bitcoin, right? Remember they didn't provide the HODL amount for April production update. And I questioned them about it. And we'll get Hive CEO on tomorrow, Aiden Kylik, as well, to ask him all these questions. So I got plenty of questions to ask him about HODL, obviously, growth. Now we have a little bit of delay in when they're getting there. Security at the sites as well. Other things, what are they doing with the current GPUs that they have? What's going on with that? There's plenty of questions we're going to have. So if you guys have any questions for him, definitely join tomorrow at 5:30 Central Standard Time. We'll have him on. I'll do my first questions with him, then we'll open it up to everybody else that's in the chat, and you guys can ask questions as long as they're respectful. I'll definitely pose them to him. But continuing on here, Hive's second 100 megawatt in Huayguazu, I can't never pronounce that. I'm just going to say Paraguay. Scheduled for completion this summer, will provide the infrastructure for growth from 11.5 exahash to 18 exahash. Hive has further deposits and options to purchase in place for Bitcoin mining ASICs to reach 2025 target of 25 exahash, with the third 100 megawatts of Bitcoin mining infrastructure coming online in calendar Q4 2025 in Venezuela, Paraguay, right? So we're pushing it off by 3 months here. Executive commentary here. Frank had some things to say here, but this is kind of interesting here from Aiden. I'm tremendously proud of our global team for executing at such a high level since our May 9th 2025 update. We have already added another 1 exahash to bring our total hash rate to 8.3. This pace of development underscores the strength of our infrastructure strategy and our commitment to operational excellence. We are also increasing our global fleet efficiency. We will be at 20 joules per terahash globally once we are at 11.5 exahash, so that's good. They're definitely improving. Before the end of June 2025, and 19 joules per terahash when we are at 18 exahash by the end of summer 2025. Overall, this improvement in our global fleet efficiency means less energy will be required per Bitcoin mine. And as we execute on our 300 megawatt growth in Paraguay, our global cost of power is expected to decrease as well. Hive estimates its average cost of Bitcoin production to decrease by 10 to 20% by autumn 2025 based on lower global average energy prices and improved global fleet efficiency. So that would be good also, right? We definitely need to see those prices come down, or the cost to mine Bitcoin for them. And that should help as they get higher hash rate and all that stuff. All right, strategic Bitcoin reserve here. So during the quarter, Hive strategically deployed a portion of its Bitcoin treasury to acquire next-generation ASIC mining equipment through a special agreement. The company pledged Bitcoin to settle the purchase at a market price of $87,000 per Bitcoin and secured an option to repurchase the equivalent amount of Bitcoin at the same price, allowing Hive a unique opportunity to capture potential upside in BTC price appreciation. We've seen somebody else do that as well. We've seen, I think it was Cleanspark that did this also. So that's kind of a new tactic that Bitmain's possibly using to get these customers in to purchase the machines. Kind of interesting there. This arrangement enabled Hive to grow its mining fleet without significant cash outlays or equity dilution while maintaining Bitcoin exposure through the special agreement. The transaction was structured while Bitcoin prices were under pressure due to its a global tariff war, positioning Hive to continue its growth trajectory while markets stabilize. As of today, Hive holds 610. So that means, I'm guessing that they maybe had 580 Bitcoin at the end of April. I'm just guessing here. I don't know for a fact. They have 610 right now. So it looks like they sold about 1,723, or at least not sold, but pledged it for the miners, right? So that's kind of what I'm guessing there. It's a best guess estimate. Right now they have 610. That's valued about 63 million as it is on that one. Okay, so at least we have some clarification on what's going on there. The company's goal is to rebuild its HODL along with growing its operating Bitcoin mining capacity to 25 exahash. For context, Bitcoin averaged below US 66,000 for 2024 calendar year and traded below 30,000 as recently as October 2023. Management believes it is prudent to deploy BTC mined at lower prices during the past two Bitcoin cycles to fund strategic growth while retaining the option to reclaim the BTC holdings as price appreciates, right? So that's good that they have that optionality, but at least we have a little bit of an update as far as what's going on with HODL here as well. And at least we know what happened with it, right? It wasn't stolen from Coinbase. They didn't get socially hacked, right? So that was good. We know what's happening with it. They're using it to grow their hash rate. I think that's fine, right? As short term, I think that's going to be a much better way to go than holding on to the Bitcoin here, depending on where it goes. We still think Bitcoin's going to go up higher, but I do like them using that instead of doing full dilution on everybody here. So this is definitely a good way to do it. Plus, they can also repurchase it if they want it, if it goes still up. So there's that on that one. And great to see that they are, because one of the questions I had was going to be for Aiden was how many ASICs do you have right now, or what's the hash rate, basically capacity that you have right now? How many do you still need to buy, and then what's the cost on those? They didn't provide the cost on here. I don't know if we're going to get the cost on them from Aiden tomorrow, but we'll ask him maybe on it to see if he can provide some costs and what those machines are as well. So a couple questions there that I already have now. All right, so that's it for Hive. Pretty good news here. Next, Bitdeer. Okay, so the reason the stream is so late is Bitdeer, their financials are always a mess, and I'm always trying to figure things out and work it out, and I think I've done that. So if there's any mistakes, let me know and I'll correct them, but I think I got it figured out here. So here's what we have. For their first quarter of 2025, Q1 total financial highlights here. Total revenue was 70.1 million versus 119.5 million. Cost of revenue was 73.4 million versus 85 million. And then, so that's still, I mean, total revenue is 70 and then their cost of revenue was 73. That's high. That's not good. That's upside down. Gross profit was negative 3.2 million. Net income was 409 million. They had a revaluation on the warrants. That's the reason why. Adjusted EBITDA was negative 56.1 million. Cash and cash equivalents were 215 million. Crypto balance of 131 million as of March 31st. Management commentary here. This quarter marked the continued execution of our SEAL miner roadmap, said Matt Kong, Chief Business Officer at Bitdeer. We have energized 3.7 exahash and 0.5 exahash of SEAL miners A1s and SEAL miners A2s, respectively, respectively, bringing our self-mined mining hash rate to 12.4 exahash by the end of April, With our seal miners, mining rigs quickly coming off the production line and ample global power capacity available, we expect to achieve a rapid growth in our self-mining hash rate towards our 40 exahash target by 2025. So that's great there. And then they are working obviously on their seal miner A4 project, which they're hoping to target an unprecedented chip efficiency of approximately 5 joules per terahash. That's going to be obviously on a much smaller nanometer size or scale at that point. And then here's where we have operational summary. We cover this every month, so I'm not going to dive into it. Power infrastructure summary, we also kind of look at this every month as well. They have a lot of power happening here. And here is their financials, MD&A. And then we'll take a look at that here in a second. Business lines. So this is where they kind of spit everything else out as far as what's the revenue for each business line, cost on that, electricity depreciation, cost of products sold. That's a new one there for them this year, along with the sales of seal miners. They didn't have that many sales, 4.1 million here. Cost of products sold was 3.3. So they did make, 0.8, so $800,000 profit on those. Still not bad. And then we got total cost for everything else. And here I included that as well. And then this is for last year. What else is there? Oh, other net gain. Okay, so other net gain was 503.1 million, primarily due to the non-cash fair value changes of derivative liabilities, which were the US 448.7 million of gain on fair value changes for the convertible notes issued in August 2024 and 2024, August and November, and the US 58.4 million of gain on fair value changes for the Tether warrants. Okay, so that's kind of where they're getting at, and that's what kind of that's something new in the numbers that we have for them. So let's take a look at their numbers here really quick, and we'll call it a day, get into Q&A, because it's getting late. But here's what we got. Also, the number of shares outstanding. I'm using 228 million. This is what they provided as the diluted number of shares there. Let me know if I shouldn't be using that, if I should be using something else, but that's kind of what I'm using there. So that kind of gives them right now a 3.1 billion market cap on it, and they've had actually a pretty good run here in the last 12 weeks. They're up 7.9% from 12 weeks ago, up 41% from 8 weeks ago, up 85% from 4 weeks ago, and then last week they were up 28.7%. So they've done a fantastic job growing here on that. Current hash rate 12.4, right? They have about 1,246 Bitcoin as reported of April, at the end of April. That's about 129 million there. Going down here to the numbers here, last 4 quarters revenue have been improving here slightly over the last 3 quarters at least. Current quarter, I'm estimating around 66 million. We'll see where that comes in. It might be actually higher with Bitcoin price going up in value. Last 4 quarters operating costs minus depreciation have been coming up here, 73 million here. Like we talked about, that's obviously upside down here on that. And I think that actually includes depreciation. I don't think I did. Yeah, I think it does include depreciation. So if it was, take out depreciation, it'd be lower at that point. Cost of one Bitcoin, that went up quite a bit here to 56,000, right? We're still operating an older fleet. They're getting newer fleets in here, but yeah, about 56,000 is what I'm estimating right now. Bitcoin quarterly has been coming down, right? They need to keep up with the network hash rate. They need to be, they need to do better than that in order to be able to mine more Bitcoin than the prior quarter, right? And I think they will going forward as they install more machines going into their sites and things like that. That should help them out where they should start getting more and more Bitcoin per quarter than what they have here. At least the last 4 quarters has been coming down on them. Debt to equity, 0.8 right now. Current ratio is at 1.37, so that's looking pretty good. Total current assets, 878 million. Total current liabilities, 639 million, so that's not too bad there. Going down here, we'll get into some of these metrics here in a second. Total current assets, like we talked about, is 878 million from 1 billion roughly. Big change there is the cash and cash equivalents was a decrease of about 260 million or something like that on that one. So that's why we're down to 878. Some things did improve a little bit here. Inventories went up to 153 million from 64. Mining machines, they actually put that down on not under current, but under non-current assets. That got moved things. So we got a couple of things moved here: restricted cash, prepayments, and other assets, financial assets, mining rigs. That got put into here, non-current assets. Right. So what else do we have here that kind of popped up? Nothing else. I mean, they were pretty close. 1.598 billion here, and they had 1.557 billion prior to that. So about 40 some odd billion or 40 million there being added to it. Current liabilities actually went down to 639 million from 1.2 billion. Big thing on that is the derivative liabilities went down from 763 million to 256, and I think that's why we see that actually showing up. And actually, where did they put that? They put that someplace. I think they put that under revenues. Let me see here. Where was it? Did we put it in here someplace? They did put it in here someplace. Where did it go? There it is. Other net gain, 503 million. So that's where that's coming in at. All right, talked about that. Token levies. Yeah, so that's kind of the changes there. They also moved some stuff over here to non-current liabilities. And treasury shares, total liabilities, and stockholder, that is up to 794 million from 276 million here. So that's looking good. Revenues. Talked about that. Revenues have come down here quarter over quarter. We also have their numbers down over here for the different business segments. Let's see, general hosting was up actually for them quarter over quarter. Membership hosting was actually up as well. Other was up. The only one that was down was self-mining and cloud hash rate. Those two were down from the prior quarters. Okay, gross profit, general administrative was down to 15.3 million from 17.6, so that's good. I like seeing that. Research and development, though, that went way up to 59 million from 22. They're working towards the other seal miners. They're the A2, A3s, and A4s, obviously. That's part of general research and development process there. And then other net gain here, that's kind of what we had here, was a revaluation of it. What else? What else do we have here? Other than that, yeah, so total comprehensive income came in at 409 million. That gave him a basic, so a basic shares was a positive EPS of 2.15, so $2.15. But diluted shares, they had a negative 0.37. This is the first time I've seen something like that. I'm not sure what the heck that actually means. If you guys know, let me know what that actually means, why that difference is. If you have diluted shares, it shouldn't be negative, so I think they're maybe not including the revaluation of the 500 some odd million here as other net gain, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of, possibly, on that one. Okay, but that is it. Pretty good quarter overall. I mean, I kind of knew it wasn't going to be great with the revenues coming down on certain things. But the good thing is they are progressing with megawatts, with hash rate growth going forward. That should be helping them out tremendously, and the stock has definitely done much better of it. I think the stock's doing really well because of the growth that they are going to be having here in the next year, I would say. And then also with the HPCI potential there, they're pausing some Bitcoin expansion in Ohio for possibilities of getting some HPCI deals. So if they get those, they'll be great for them. They'll probably pump the stock up a little bit higher. But here's what we got. We talked about revenue here, right? Revenue and general administrative. It's only 21%. That has been coming down, so that's good to see. At least now, coming down. It was going up in the opposite direction. It was going up back in 2023 and 2024, but it's coming back down. That's good. I like seeing that. It's only 22% roughly, more or less, and that's about it. That's all I got for you guys on this one. So big thing for them is, are they undervalued or overvalued? Well, based on the numbers that we have here for the last 3 quarters plus the current quarter that we're in, I got them between 649 and 973. They're currently at 1373, and if I use the revenues for the last month times 12 months, I'm between 892 and 1388. The analysts have a much higher price, $26 higher. So they're probably maybe looking more forward even for them getting to like 40 exahash and then possibly getting an HPCI deal. That's the only way I could see them getting to $26 on the higher end. Because everybody else, I'm kind of within range of analysts of where the analysts are, but this one is just way off on me. Not sure why. So maybe they have some insight that I don't have. But yeah, so based on the analysts, I would say that they're undervalued. Based on my numbers, I'd say that they're kind of fairly valued right now as it is. But time will tell, I guess. But they've done a fantastic job here in the last 12 weeks, right? Huge gains here for everybody. They are, I think, probably the best performer here right now in the last 12 weeks, potentially. They've been definitely rocketing here. So congrats to anybody that owns Bitdeer, right? I didn't see that coming. I don't know if anybody saw that coming. But if you guys did, congratulations there. And yeah, I mean, ride that pony all the way up if you can. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. This spreadsheet will be available to my Patreon members again tomorrow. I'll send this out to you guys in the morning probably. And if anybody wants to join my Patreon membership and help support what I do, along with get access to all these spreadsheets and data and everything else, you're more than welcome to do that. I greatly appreciate it. Link for that is down in the description for that. All right, that's it. Let's get into Q&A here. See what you guys have to say, anything at all. As always, if you guys could preface the questions with a question mark. And I think we're pretty much done with all of the reporting for quarterly results. I think everybody else has reports. We got Bitfarms, I know reported, Cypher has reported, Cleanspark has reported, Core, Hive, Hot 8, IREN, Mara, Riot. Yeah, they all reported. So now that they've all reported, we'll look at some of the dilution for these guys, comparison. We'll look at other charts and stats and metrics as well for these guys for the quarterly results also. So that'll be coming up here probably later on next week, I'm guessing. All right, but let's get to Q&As. Let me scroll up here, work my way down as always, and we'll see what kind of questions we got here. There was a question that I saw before I starting the stream here. Seb, you think Diddy will go to prison or walk? Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't even follow it, to be honest with you, so I have no idea. But so I can't say one way or the other. I would have to, have more information, I guess. Let's see. Rix to 50 says 150K the top in September. October miners struggle for even a 2x from here. Real money will be made buying them in 2026 at a bear market lows. What if we don't have a bear market? What if we have a continuation of this market that we're in and just an extended cycle? So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards, at least right now. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see. Alexander, I can't believe that at BTC 104,000 we are in the dumps as the sector. It will be a miracle to get back to our last year's highs with these kind of moves. We only need a couple of days, like what, a total of 10 days where the miners go up 10, 15% or something like that. It doesn't take much for them to run, and when they do run, they do like to run. See how it continues on here. No momentum at all. Small BTC pullback, and we're crashing for 2 days. That's kind of, yeah, it is that way as it is. All right, let's see. Is the Hive CEO still coming, or did he chicken out? No, he's still coming in tomorrow, right? So that's going to be fun. That's going to be, well, I'm going to be a little worried. I'm going to be, obviously, first I'm doing a live stream with a guest and doing questions like that. So I got some anxiety, but I think it will be fine. We'll do great. The only thing I'm concerned about is the audio. I hope the audio is good for you guys. And if that's good, then everything else will be working out fine. All right. Let's see. Did you hear in the conference? I didn't. Yeah, see, I must have missed it. So I think I might have been interrupted by my kids or something like that. I missed that, and I was informed about that they will be stopping production. Update. Also, I think the Washington site is going to serve the federal government, according to Ben. I heard that as well. So that's kind of interesting there, what they're going to be possibly doing with that. We'll see. All right. People are lying about buying BTC is still only 100,000. Well, Bitcoin's 104,000 right now. I'm not sure what you mean, Sour. It's been, well, you guys are pretty gnarly today. With all the good news, I'm glad the miners didn't disappoint. Oh, wait, they did as usual. And you guys are on it today. All right. What else we got here? Alexander says, it's great about these BTC adoption and all these strategic reserves, but we are not benefiting from all of this at all. Second year that Bitcoin is up and miners are hugely down. They are, right? I can't say that they haven't done great, but depending when you got into them, if you got in towards the bear market of 2022, at the end of 2022, right, you're probably doing pretty good. But if you got in at higher prices, you're probably not doing that great. I say just give it a little bit more time, be patient. I think things will turn around for us. What else here? Love Guru, appreciate that. Hit the like button. We need more viewers. No tariffs on likes. I appreciate that. Absolutely. All right. Ricky says, I bought the top yesterday and again, and bought the dip today, and just keeps stacking before the train leaves the station. I agree. That's usually the way that I've done things. I haven't been able to do it here recently, but I'm looking to get back into it maybe next month. Let's see. Yay, Coinbase going to a facility in North Korea, 20 million Yankee dollars reward. All right, what else we got here? What happened to Bitfarms? Bitfarms, their Argentina site lost power, basically. There's some stuff happening with the power provider there. They're getting some stuff worked out. Bitfarms, Turd Farms. Man, you guys have a lot of names for Bitfarms. What else we got here? Carl Elliott says, just might zoom out and take a look at January 2023 now. Same winter, spring, summer pattern for miners. Will miners go as high as July peak in 2024? Maybe, maybe not, but the uptrend has started. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of the miners actually did really well up to the before the halving, right? So that was what, March? I think it was March or April, somewhere around that last year. They did actually pretty good. A lot of these guys got to recent highs, like Cleanspark got to 24, Mara got to like 30 some odd dollars or something like that. See if we can get back to those levels. That'd be good. See, Alexander says, let us all admit that the only reason why we are still in this garbage sector is because it's too late to switch to BTC. It's never too late to switch to BTC, to be honest. Some of us still think that maybe the miners will be a better proxy play. We'll see if that's still the case, right? Can they still perform like they did last cycle? Maybe not as great as last cycle, but at least close to it. At least can they outperform Bitcoin, 2x or 3x on top of what Bitcoin does? We'll have to wait and see. All right. Can Bitfarms move all their Argentina miners to the U.S. to produce more Bitcoin in the United States instead of Argentina? Good question there. I don't know if they have the available megawatts to do that or the sites to put them in. I think they're pretty much tapped out as it is right now. Eventually, they could possibly do that if they expanded the sites that they purchased from Stronghold. Let's see. Alexander says, if you knew back at BTC 17,000, would you invest into a dual thing and not 3x leverage downside or 5x? I mean, yeah, had I known, I think all of us would have probably done the same thing. Had we known that the cycle is not going to be the same and the miners are not going to be performing as well as they did last cycle, I'm sure a lot of us maybe would have done things differently. I still have faith. I'm still in the green on the miners here. So, well, except for IREN, I think I'm down right now, a couple percentage points. Bitfarms, I'm definitely down, but I sold a lot of it. But the rest of it, Mara and Cleanspark, I'm still in the green on those. I've been in the green on Cleanspark for a long time. So that helps me sleep better at night. And then I think the upside is still there. It's just, when is it going to happen? It's going to happen within the next 3 to 6, 9 months. I believe that's the case. As things improve with Bitcoin, everything else should improve with the miners as well. What else we got here? All right. Rax250 says, my question for the Hive CEO would be, why should investors buy Hive or other miners and not just own BTC? That's a good question too. Yeah, right. What's the reason behind it, right? And I'm sure his response is going to be that, they're mining Bitcoin at a much lower cost than what the spot is. They're growing and protecting the network, things like that, I would imagine. But that's a good question. Alexander says, we need is lowered rates because that's the only thing miners price care about. Interest rates on that does definitely help. Let's see. A Perfecte says, not surprised the view count is 54. It's late. It's 84 right now. Doing a little bit better. All right. At what point do we admit that the premise was wrong? Miners not a leverage play on BTC. When the cycle is over. So later on this year or sometime early next year or whenever that might be. Well, that will be the tell. Let's see. Kay says, I still have a small position in Cleanspark. It's a turd stock. It hasn't done that great, I will admit. But it's definitely down from or up from where it was at the end of the bear market. What else? It's actually done pretty good here this year as well, right? It's like one of the best performing as far as not going down as much. So that might be a good sign here going forward. What else we got here? Talking about Fed. All right. Sebastian, what you think about BitDigital's earning that report in the last day? I did not see that. I'll have to take a look at it. I have not looked at BitDigital. That's the one maybe we'll talk about tomorrow, or if we do another late night stream tomorrow. But we're doing the live interview with Aiden Kylik there. If we do another stream, we'll maybe talk about it then, see what's going on there. Okay, LB has got a question here. Let's see. Hi, Sebastian. Told you Bitdeer will be the winner this year, holding strong until second week of December 2025. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, you called it. So congrats there. That was a great play. Okay, Sodahead says, especially the block spam on your YouTube comments, open YouTube Studio settings community under automated filters, add spam words like fake coin in the blocked words section. Oh, okay. I didn't know I could do that. Thank you for that. Yeah, because I've been going through and just like flagging all the fake coin spam that's out there. So that might be a good way to do it. I'll have to remember to do that. So settings, community, under automated filters. Okay. All right. I'll take a look into that. But that definitely should help because right now I'm spending too much time going through the comments and flagging and deleting stuff. Okay. Let's see here. Question, wasn't the cycle 18 months after the halving, meaning October 2025? Why is everyone talking like miners are over? Well, yeah, I mean, historically, that's when the miners would peak, at least, right? But well, people are talking about the miners because the miners haven't done that great over the last, I would say, year from the halving event, which is kind of understandable, too, because you get the halving event, the revenues get cut in half, and you're expecting them to do fantastically well. No, I kind of expected them not to do that great, but we also had Bitcoin kind of going up nicely while they didn't kind of participate with it. So I think that's why people are kind of upset about it, which I kind of understand as well, but that's why I'm saying be a little bit more patient. Let's see where this cycle ends up at. Let's see. Heinz has got a question here. Seb, do you own Palantir, SoFi, RKLBS, HUD stocks? No, I don't own any of those. Okay. Alexander says, all I wanted was to make a buck on BTC with the minor leverage. Instead, I got myself into Paraguay drama and tariff crash course of economics. We all did that, didn't we? Which lines does it trade? Okay, let's see. Bitdeer, BTDR. Okay. Getting close to you guys. Lovegood says, Debbie Downer Day. Does seem like it's, right? We've had 2 down days on the miners and everybody's panicking again. All right. What causes a delay between M2 money supply and when the money makes its way to assets like BTC? 108 days seems too long. Yeah, I don't know what that reasoning is for it. Whether it just takes that long for the money to get put out there, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it's got a strong correlation to it, right? Right now, if you offset by 108 days, it's strange, but it does follow it. We'll see if it continues to follow it. All right. Emil has a question here. What's your prediction on BTC this bull run, and where can we expect Mara and Cleanspark be at? Just your opinion. My original target for Bitcoin was 180,000. This was going back to before we had the Bitcoin ETFs and everything else. So this was going back to, when was that, 2023? Yeah, 2023. My bull case for Bitcoin was going to be 180,000. So we're not too far off it from now. Well, we're at 80,000 away, but that's kind of where I thought I was going to go. But then as I'm seeing all of this adoption happening, everything else, right? States putting it on, passing the SBR bills, countries buying it, companies buying it. You got companies forming to just buy as much Bitcoin as they can. So that's prompted me to think we might be going higher than 180,000. I think we might be going past 200,000, whether it's 215, 250, I don't know. But I think we're going higher than that. And which also makes me think that we might be going into an extended cycle as well, which we could have these kind of corrections where we've seen it before, 30% drawdowns, lasting a couple months, and then we rocket back up higher, and then go down 30% for a couple months, and then rocket higher again, right? Instead of having these previous huge peaks and valleys in Bitcoin price. But as far as where could Cleanspark and Mara be at, my opinion is I'm going to sandbag it. So if Bitcoin goes to 200,000, I would expect both Cleanspark and Mara to do at least 2 to 3x. That would be the very minimum I would expect them to do. They can do much better than that if the appetite picks up for the miners and, you get people FOMOing into them as well as they start running up. So they definitely can get overextended a little bit at that time frame. All right. Let's see, question. If Ben contacts you for an interview, would you accept? I would put it up to you guys for a vote, right? Would you guys want me to interview him, ask him questions? Also, the only way I would do it is doing a live stream where you guys can also ask questions. That's the only way I would do any of these going forward. I think that's a good way to do it. That way it's not just me, doing the questions. You guys can actually take part in this as well. And it's not rehearsed by anybody. We can't cut anything. It's live. It is what it is, right? So I think that's the only way I would do it. But we'll see how tomorrow's interview goes. If tomorrow's interview is a disaster, that might be the first and last one that we do. Let's see. Did I skip your question? Skip my question. I'm sorry if that is the case. Did I skip your question? I was going through all the stuff here. Thought maybe. Sorry if I did skip your question here. So you're done with miners? understandable, right? It's not for the faint of heart for sure. CBS says, right now traders seem focused on short-term gains. Every small uptick gets sold off almost immediately. It does seem like that, yeah. All right, let's see. I'm not convinced miners will make new 52-week highs before the cycle ends. Better off with MicroStrategy and its leveraged ticker. That might be another way to play it, absolutely, but it has also, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Last cycle, the miners outperformed MicroStrategy. We'll see if it happens again this time. The possibilities of that seem smaller now from what we've been seeing here, but that still might be the case. We'll see. Let's see. I'm holding my Hive, IREN, and some Bitfarms, but not too heavy in them anymore. So whatever happens is going to happen. I'll sell it when I think their top is in. Okay, nice. All right. How many exahash can Bitfarms get from the new 3,000 miners they are getting by the end of this month? So 3,000. If those are 200, that's going to be roughly 800, 700 exahash, or not exahash, petahash, 700 to 800 petahash, something like that. Because it's 5,000 miners is 1 exahash roughly. So that's going to be 600, probably 600 petahash then. Okay. All right. Could a partnership with Bitfarms in the AI space be possible, similar to what we've seen with Hut 8 and Core? It's possible, but it's going to take some time. Even if they do get one, it's not going to be generating revenue for them until maybe sometime in 2026. And maybe the earliest, yeah, I would say probably towards the end of 2026 is when they would probably start getting revenue from that. Okay, let's see. I did notice on McNally Money, he posted a photo of the Bitfarms future site rendition, and it did look very good. For the HPCI stuff, yeah, I think I saw that too. Let's see. Seb, will you filter out questions during the interview to avoid trolling and repetition? Yes, I will be obviously checking for questions. One, I'll be looking for, are the questions respectful, right? I don't want to be a bad guy, right? When it comes to the interviews and everything else, I want to keep it cordial. I want to keep it going, and I want to be actually, have a good dialogue. I don't want to be putting out questions that are, in my opinion, not respectful, right? If somebody's just putting crap out there, I'm not going to say what I want to say, but yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on it, see what the questions are, and I'll pick the ones that I think are pertinent to our discussion and things like that, and to their company as well. Let's see. Seb, can we do a poll on if there's interest in having Ben on? We can always do that, right? That's not a big deal. We can always talk about it, and maybe I'll do that one of these days when there's a Bitfarm story on or something like that. Maybe we'll do a poll. Should I, but we'll see how tomorrow's interview goes with Aiden. If that one goes good, then I'll be maybe open to doing other interviews as well. But again, they got to be live, and the chat has to be able to put in questions as well. Let's see. He says, question, do it as a super chat. I know it may be unusual, but it will keep the questions more serious. Oh, so you have to have a super chat, so you have to, what is it, tip or something like that, I think it is, right? Is that the case? Where if you tip for the question, you can put in the question there at that point. Tomorrow, I mean, that's not a bad suggestion, but I want to keep it open to everybody, right? Not everybody wants to spend money, and not everybody wants to tip me and what I do, so... Well, we'll see. If we get a lot of questions, something like that, maybe going forward, maybe we'll do something like that where if you tip for a question, whether it's $1 or whatever it might be, I don't know. Something to think about for sure. All right, but that's it. Let's see, where Bitcoin's still up. Well, Bitcoin's still 104,000 right now, so it's not too bad. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see where things end up at. And like I said, tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will do the interview with Aiden Kylik from Hive, CEO and president there. I got plenty of questions that I want to ask him. I'm going to try to keep it limited, though, to make sure that you guys have a chance to also ask him. I don't know if it's going to be 30 minutes that we have with him or an hour. I'll find that out before we do the stream tomorrow when I get him on and get him all set up and everything else. So, yeah, we'll see. So hopefully we'll get an hour. I think an hour will be good. That way I can ask plenty of questions. You guys can ask also plenty of questions in there, and then hopefully we cover it all. So it should be fun. Please come in and join at that point. But it'll be fun. And then Michael, yes, I will look at Bit Digital's earnings as well. Be interested to see how they do, because I still track them in the smaller miners though. So I think I got the data for them from the following quarters, so I'll probably pull that up and we'll do that, like I said, either tomorrow night late night, or we'll do that maybe on Sunday or something like that. Okay, I'm losing my voice here. So we'll call it a day. Again, thank you again for coming in this late. Really appreciate you guys. We've been going on another hour here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. And thanks again for coming in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.